The debate part is what I think is important. That's what it's destiny. This is
Well,
basically
first
just
of
Ted
all,
Cruz saying that
for,
this is nonpartisan. This is a fucked up event that happened, and there's
well,
that we need to try to do to prevent it.
well, a lot of what's going on right now is non is nonpartisan. And thankfully, what I've seen online is that like 97% of people are not trying to justify this. So this is kind of nice. But what I what I will say is that before y'all rake me through the coals, nominally in terms of economics, I agree more with Destiny, but I don't like him. I think he's a scumbag.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, let's see how you feel about him after you see what he says.
I did you not hear me? I just said that he's a fucking scumbag. Okay,
I'm just saying.
I don't like him. So
videos, and what she told me, I asked
How we go?
her
You can click
what the
straight.
delay was, and what she told me then is she said the delay was that they're trying to go through
what?
those.
You should be able to clip
What
straight
wrong?
to the panel. Like
Hold on.
it should have timestamps there.
Well, it's right here. I can just play it. I mean,
with you, Ben, given that you work with Santa Cruz a lot, it was great to have him make his debut. And obviously, we
There's like
focused
a
mainly
certain
on.
part where
But what
Destiny
he said at the end there was really interesting. I felt about.
sorry, Rowan. What did you say?
there's a certain part where it you should see.
Hold on, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get a cold one out of the fridge real quick.
Yeah, you're good. Roman, if you skip forward, see how that said. So it's not them talking about that. If you see, it's him talking about Texas that I'm specifically trying to find. If you go, that says panel debates on Epstein. That's not what it is. You have to go to Destiny. Keep going.
Yeah, I don't really want to talk about the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing. I would rather not. Oh, okay. I see it
Does
right here.
Destiny regret his? Yeah,
I see it. Yeah, I
So
see it.
save that for when Crimson comes back. We'll go from there. Oh my god, you just got really tight on me, you little fucker. I got you. You want to act like I'm a tree. Okay, I'm a tree. Do you see this, bro? She's just fucking vibing.
If she like tightens around your arm, would she cut off the circulation?
She could break my arm if she wanted to, but she won't do it.
She's really cool looking. Really cool.
Oh, she's a beauty. She's the sweetest little thing in the world, too, aren't you, Azula?
Yeah, Muffler. The Island Man stuff is insane. That's crazy. I'm not even gonna get into it because if I do, I'll lose every single one of you. So I'm just gonna not say anything.
I'm so excited.
I mean, I've been following it pretty closely too, and I've been saving receipts.
Yeah,
same. Actually, I want to ask you a question. So,
yeah, same here. For me, like that whole thing is that I'm just the only thing I'll say about the Epstein thing is that I'm glad that it's mostly internet consensus for once, which is nice. It's not just people
it's nonpartisan. Everybody agrees on the lower level. We were talking about this before the show started.
Yeah, it's actually kind of nice.
I want to look from what I've seen. Some interesting things may happen pretty soon here, as far as that goes. I want to see how it plays out, but there's some fuckery going on for sure.
Yeah.
And like you guys said, it is good to see that everyone basically agrees. Like Island Man's little logbook needs to be something we can all see.
Yeah.
A woman called Kylie Jane Kramer posted on X. I've been trying to wrap my head around how the flooding in Texas became so devastating so quickly. Why not evacuate? Then I saw this. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick said the Guadalupe River rose 26 feet in just 46 minutes around 4 a.m. That doesn't even seem natural, to which you you reposted this, and you put your own words. I heard
Remy,
God
pause it real
killed
quick.
those kids because they were using
1.8 over 1.8 trillion gallons of water. That is a possible thing that can happen.
Well, yeah, it depends on the topography. If everything leads, from what I heard, everything leads into that one tributary that they were by. So all of that water was pouring in from the hills. Yeah, that does make sense.
Yes,
Especially if you got some torrential rains.
and that happens to us here. So we have a whole group of neighborhoods that live right on the Neshaminy Creek. They get flooded out. There's been devastation on the Neshaminy Creek around us.
Oh, it happens in my area. There's plenty of rivers, especially with you. If you talk about like the Fox River, there's some historical sites and stuff along there that like are constantly under threat of flooding because of how all that functions.
Yeah, exactly.
NordVPN promo code Destiny to get around the Texas porn ban. On reflection, do you?
Hold on. Texas ban porn?
They have a requirement that you have to confirm that you are above age 18 in order to use it.
So that's fine.
This is one of the things that I don't like about what the left will do is you'll have something like this go through and it gets mislabeled as a porn ban or something like that, and it's just oh well, they put extra requirements to make sure that kids don't have as easy access to it. And really all it is I think they did something like this in Illinois too. And really all it is you go in and it says, are you 18 or not? You select yes, and that's it.
I'm sorry, the snake is tickling me. What are you doing, bro? What are you doing, bro? I'm sorry. I wasn't laughing at Crimson.
My
Crimson, what
snake,
she's saying is true.
my snake is tickling me, so can't really
You
blame
can
me.
see the python. It makes sense.
I see your python.
Grotesquely tasteless thing to be posting.
Absolutely not. The hand
Wow.
wringing, the hand wringing here. Oh my God! Stop. If you want to talk about dead children, then you should talk about the residents of Kerr County who rejected using ARPA funds to build the very siren system that Ted Cruz was over here virtue signaling about. Now that the kids are dead, last I checked, the siren system isn't bringing anybody back to life. Okay, the very same system that they could have built for the better part of the last decade. They didn't want to touch those ARPA funds because they thought that if they did, Biden would go and steal their homes, which is the exact same lie that was told in North Carolina when people were rejecting FEMA funds because they thought that
not true.
That is still not a justification for making a joke about kids who died like days prior.
Small time Republic, what's up, brother? Yeah, that's not even true either.
Oh, okay.
Well then no.
So these people they could not afford it. Roman, it would be like our small town compared to Newtown, right? What are you doing? You're wrapping around my necklace. I don't like that. Can you stop? Can you stop? But it would be just like that.
And nothing he said in that tweet has anything to do with what he's justifying it with here.
And I'm not I've always thought that Destiny was like a that he was a classless douche.
Well, he's a dude who blows Nick Fuentes. What do you expect?
Yeah, which is that part in itself is actually crazy. But the thing with Destiny, the reason that I don't watch him is because he talks too fast for me to actually comprehend what he's saying. Like, he sounds smart, but he's actually just talking really fast and he doesn't say really much of anything. But the point that I'm making here is that which I hope that he gets to later, and it's not even like what I would say in this situation that is certifiably true, proven to be true, is that the administration cut funding to the National Weather Service. Now, would that have saved the lives of the people in Texas? Maybe or maybe not. But that is what you say. You don't champion children being dead. Nah. It's
Well, again, you say he's talking fast and not really saying much. He's talking fast and saying a bunch of stuff that has nothing to do with anything he said in the tweet. He basically made a joke that, well, they died because God doesn't like them looking at porn. How does a National Weather Service have anything to do with that?
And here's
Holy
the thing,
shit.
I can tell you guys right
doesn't.
now, and I said this last week, right? We do not actually have the technology because we as Americans think that we were so fucking good at what we were doing with tech when it comes to this thing. So what we would have needed, so okay, let's say for instance, we can sense right now an hour before, right? We can sense an hour beforehand this massive storm's coming, which is what it was. We would have required a 3-hour before. That doesn't exist. We don't have it. The only places that have it are Sweden, Japan, and Dubai because of the storms that they deal with. We don't have those type of things. And we should, because we're the only country on the planet that deals with all types of natural disasters. We have volcanoes, we have floods, we have hurricanes, we have tornadoes, we have massive superstorms. We get everything. We have blizzards, we get all of it. Sandstorms, anything you can think of, we get it here because we have all of the biomes. So we really should have that, but no one has ever upgraded it really from what we had in like the 90s, early 2000s, because that has done the job. But here's the thing. Earth has changed. That's what I go to school for. That's what I learned about. So I know this Earth is changing. It's not just global warming. It's just the fact that the environment changes over time. And we don't have the technology capable enough to tell us. Because people say, oh, well, they had an hour. Yeah, they had an hour at 1 a.m. in the morning. And after that, right, you get 1 a.m. in the morning, you get a call. You have to then alert everybody in an area that does not have good cell service, which I've been in many times in my lifetime. I did a 5-day backcountry hike in California, came out of that hike, and the whole fucking forest was on fire. We had to evacuate the park. We didn't know. We had sat phones. We had satellite phones, and we still didn't fucking know until we got out at the trailhead. So we don't have the technology to prevent this. And if somebody were to get the call, right, they then have to get up, get to base, get to the helicopter, get the helicopter fucking ready to fly, and get in it at 2 a.m. That's not to mention all the other people that have to get involved to do this. There was barely any way that they would have had time to alert anybody. Even with sirens, it would have been a hard job.
Still doesn't.
It's a disaster. It is a disaster. And this is nonpartisan. It cannot be blamed on anybody's voting. This is something that I've been trained for through Boy Scouts and something that I've learned about for years. This is not the type of situation.
Just like how I can.
This does not happen.
Just like how I can't justify what Destiny said. There's
well, you gotta still see what he said. You haven't finished yet.
Well, no, but I saw the tweet. That's all that I need to see. But
no, you gotta continue this video. You gotta see what he has to say to defend himself.
But the thing that I'm saying is that it doesn't even rolling if, and I'm not saying that like you're defending the cuts to the National Weather Service, but the point that I'm making is that even if we don't have the technology,
so
why are we cut
the cuts to it though, Roman? That does not affect this situation. This situation is not affected by any cuts. We still don't have the technology because the research from 5 administrations ago did not give a fuck about it. That's why. We've kept the same shit since the 90s. That it's got nothing to do with Doge. We've never upgraded. Other countries
It
have.
wasn't Doge.
We haven't. That
It
had
wasn't
nothing
Doge
to do with
that-
this.
But
It had
the
nothing
point
to
that
do
I'm
with the
making is,
cuts. It had nothing to do with the cuts. There was no research being done for this specific thing.
but the point that I'm making is, why were we cutting research for it? Why are we doing that? That kind of, because don't we not want Texas to ever happen again? Why would we do that? Why would
we didn't want what's it called ever happening? Katrina ever happening again.
That's true. But the point that I'm making is that why will we cut funding for the National Weather Service? For what? Why?
I agree. There are some of the cuts that were made by Doge that just don't make sense. Like, I don't agree with like the cuts to like space exploration grants and stuff like that. Like probes and all that we were actually using to do proper studies. If it's one thing if you start talking about like we're teaching pigeons how to draw with crayons.
Yeah.
That's obviously a front for some sort of CIA bullshit. Cut that.
Yeah, facts.
That's someone misappropriating funds. But if we're talking about like real actual research, I don't think it deserves to be cut. Like with the stuff with NASA, I don't think it deserves to be cut. Stuff with the National Weather System, don't think it deserved to be cut.
Yeah.
The government was giving them money for their houses, they steal it. If you want to talk about grotesque and ghoulish things that are being said,
it's what you put online. I agree with you. It's what you run online. It is grotesque. It's disgusting. But I mean, I guess that's what you do.
How long have people if we spend?
He has done nothing but try and deflect from the actual thing he said in this.
Yes. Exactly.
Like when people start like trying to bring it back, he just talks louder and gets more aggressive and tries to deflect from the fact that he was shilling something that would make him money with dead kids.
Now, to anybody that doesn't know, that guy that is arguing with him is Ted Cruz's co-host on Ted Cruz's own podcast. I just like the fact that Piers is very respectable.
Podcast.
Yeah, I didn't either. But Piers himself is so nonpartisan. That's why I love him. He's very just like, bro, come on though. Like, he's like, we're people. Like, be honest. Be honest, this is bullshit. That's why he made his own show, because he started getting censored by all the news media. But anyway.
I gotta tell you, as someone who cannot stand the dude in the middle, I feel kind of bad for him here. Like, he kind of just looks like he doesn't want to be there. Like I feel for him.
Less money in Ukraine. You guys are going to spend more money investing in things like infrastructure in the United States. Where is that money going?
We just had another
massive debt increase. Another massive debt increase for more tax cuts for wealthy people. Congratulations.
Now, I will say, even though Destiny's a piece of shit, he's technically not wrong there, but that does not justify that tweet that he said. I just want to put that out there. He's not technically wrong there, but that does not justify it.
He's done nothing but deflect because
that's what Piers asked him.
Yeah, he's done nothing but deflect.
He has not answered the question. He has not given any reason to support it. He's basically just like, well, look at all this other random unrelated stuff as to ghoulish, awful remarks and stuff like that. And he starts talking about things that are completely unrelated and aren't even half as bad as, trying to making comments than like shilling a product with dead kids as your central theme.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right, let me get a Ben.
How's that deficit doing?
Don't talk over each other.
How's our deficit doing? Is it
Don't
going up or down?
Don't talk over each other. But just to be clear, Destiny, you
There are
don't.
no answers. Just
to be clear,
no, just to be
Destiny.
clear,
I'm gonna talk.
Please stop
I'm not going to sit
talking.
here and argue about jokes.
Please
When
stop
these guys are
talking.
spreading
It sounds like you
lies
don't joke
that are
when
leading to the
children are
actual
dead, dude.
destruction of these. Oh, except you guys do when it happens in LA when it's about the wildfires.
I
You guys
don't.
make jokes when
I'm not a
politicians are
sick,
getting
vile
killed
person
in
like you.
Minnesota.
Go
I'm
look
sure.
at my X
Just the
account.
rest of
I
your
don't
party
delete
is. Just the rest of your party
I
is.
don't delete
Don't talk
tweets.
over each
Read
other
all.
because we
None of that
can't
up
hear
there.
you.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
All right, but
So,
Destiny,
here,
just to
let me
be
say a couple
clear,
things here.
Destiny, just to be clear, you don't regret posting. I heard God kill those kids because they were using
I'm not going to sit here
NordVPN
and argue
to get
about
around the
jokes on
Texas
Twitter
porn ban.
while you allow the very same
It's not
misinformation
a
to spread on this
fucking
program
joke
that leads
Pause
to
it,
talk
Roman.
about.
Pause it, Roman.
It's not a fucking joke if you're talking about dead people who just
Yes.
died.
Dead children. Children. But they don't know what the government is.
I'm sorry. Look, it would be
It's a-
one
this-
thing.
This is-
Look, it
this
would be
is
one
nothing
thing if
short
Destiny
of
made
a horrific fucking mistake. This is
I'd be
nothing
more
short-
inclined to ignore this if Destiny had made this joke in, like, you know, in private to like a friend, because I've said some fucked up shit like this too. Okay,
But you're
I
defending motherfucker.
I have made jokes about this, but in no way would I ever defend it as like, oh yeah, well, absolutely, because everyone else is horrible. Like, I mean, even on like podcasts on like Monday, I was joking around making fun of Biggles for something that he did one of the first times I ever streamed with him. The whole running joke is that he hates and abuses children that we have.
So I make jokes like that with friends, right? Right. I make jokes like that. I had some fucking idiot customer at work. Everybody here knows that I work with animals and fish and whatnot. And they said, "Oh, well, we haven't done a water change in a year because our son told us that we don't have to do a water change because water changes don't happen in nature." And I looked at them and I said, "Texas just had an entire water change. Ask them about what happens in nature." That's like the fucking water change. That's what happens in nature. It's a fucking flood. That happens, right? That wasn't a joke. I was serious. I was like, this shit fucking happened. Like, what? Like, I didn't say that to them like that. Like, I'm like,
here's the thing is when I brought specifically up the thing, like the joke I have with Biggles.
Like, you people are just retarded.
Over, you know, like the whole like abusing children allegation because of something that happened backstage. The first time I streamed with him, basically his nephews were being annoying, and like they started like trying to get into his office right before we were about to go live. And he gets up, he's like, "Come here, you little shits!" And he comes back, he's like, "I'm gonna strangle those little shits at some point." And so that just became the running joke that he likes to abuse children and all that, and he rolls with it. But it's never like we actually have a target for it. It's just sort of like an ambiguous thing. We all make jokes about it and like how he hates kids and everything. And
well, yeah,
Now,
it's one thing. We don't have a specific reference to that. It's never something like that.
I do want to
Destiny
say,
went out and specifically took a thing that had happened. It would be like if someone like if there was a school incident, okay, I'll try to keep it as neutral as possible for your channel's sake, Roman. It'd be like if someone did that, and like the very next day, I was making jokes about it, like, man, I feel so much better now that I took out all my anger on those kids.
or like, you know,
Or
helpless
I guess
ratio
God
or
condemned
something.
them for doing drugs in school. Hashtag use code Crimson to get money off on your gamer subs or on your ammunition.
Yeah, they deserve it. Like, that's the type of shit people would say.
Like, just like kind of to put a bow on that though, I will say the guy on the right, Ben, you know, Ferguson, he actually, and like, I'm not saying that like this takes away from the shit that Destiny said, but he did actually make jokes about people dying in the wildfire, saying that because they were liberal that they probably shouldn't have been living there and they wouldn't have died. So I'm just saying that the guy on that, you know, the guy on the right is also a giant, massive piece of shit.
Well,
so,
that's why I think that Piers has these people on, right? He makes them go at it.
Yeah.
And
like
he tries. Did you hear him? He's trying to say, Destiny, shut up. Keep playing. Keep playing it. Let it go.
the guy in the middle is a piece of shit, and both of the dudes on the right are a piece of
putting
shit.
up siren systems, okay, because they think that Biden is going to go steal
That
their
wasn't my
homes.
question.
I think it is absolutely insane.
Wasn't my
I think
question.
it is insane that you want to go and hand-wring liberals over
Pierce is
jokes
just
that are
trying to be
not
a
even
regular
half as
person.
crazy as some of the things these conservatives say.
Okay, but just to be
Rather
clear,
than
you
actually
don't
focusing
regret
on the
doing
main-
it.
There's no
substance of the
tweet
issue.
like that out
Absolutely
there.
not.
I'm
Just to
not
be
absolutely
clear,
not.
Destiny,
Absolutely not.
just to be clear, you don't regret posting it.
No, absolutely.
Clearly
Okay,
not.
Ben Ferguson.
Here's a couple things here that I think there's proper information that should get out there. This is an area that I go to often. It's an area that I take my kids dozens and dozens of times. It's a very small rural community. When it rains there, there's always flooding because there's a lot of rock in the ground and the water doesn't absorb in the ground. So you have flash floodings that happen very quickly. I've been there when this happens. This was a once in a lifetime 100-year flood. If you want to know about the funding for the system, it's an extremely small community, and the price tag for it is very, very big compared to the tax base that they have in this small community. It is not because of the Matt Boone stuff this guy's talking about. That is not why the community decided 6 years ago to not do it, even though they wanted to. It was a cost issue. What's going to happen now is you're going to have state funds and federal funds, and that system will happen. But go back to this once in a lifetime flood that took place. No one could have prepared or thought this was going to happen. People bought homes on a river where there's constant flooding, where they're built high enough up that flooding has never gotten there before in the history of their lifetime. So this is a tragedy that took place. And by the way, this is personal.
It's just like the Chamonix Creek. That's just like the Chamonix Creek. It's the same exact thing. People died when we've had certain hurricanes here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you
We have
guys
another
live close
guest.
enough to the ocean to get
Back there.
hurricanes. I forgot about that. I'm so used to
Yes.
living in landlocked Illinois that we only ever get like the remnants of broken up hurricanes.
No, yeah, we get legit hurricanes.
Lucky. Yeah, we
They
get
suck.
full ones, bro.
Do you guys get tornadoes on the regular?
We get tornadoes. So we never did get tornadoes. We get them now.
We get 'em now. Oh,
What's up,
Yeah,
Chicken?
no. Every summer it feels like one or two Illinois towns in my area get wiped off the fucking map. That's a pretty regular thing.
Yeah, it sounds about right. I've been through Illinois.
okay. My mic like cut out for like a hot second. Okay. Let me go. How much is left of this clip? God, there's 4 more minutes. What more is there to say? Jeez.
Because I know people who lost children. There are funerals that are
So,
taking
I just
place.
want-
in
just to be
Houston.
clear, you're saying
Can I just
that there
finish
aren't
talking about
Let
the
him
funeral for a
finish.
second?
You're saying
Let him
you just cut me
finish,
off like
Destiny.
15 times. So you're saying there are no
Destiny,
citizens
let him
saying
finish
that
his
they don't want to
sentence.
use the American Rescue Plan funds.
I'm
They
gonna-
didn't want to
I'm
use that
gonna
money
go-
because they thought Biden would take their
I'm
homes.
gonna go
You're
back to
saying
what I said.
that transcript doesn't exist.
Here's,
Can
Piers,
you
I'm
let
gonna go
Ben
back to what I
finish,
said.
given
You're
he
an
was
actual
talking about the
fool.
funerals
What
of
is
dead
this? I
children?
have friends whose kids
Please let
died.
him
You don't
finish
care.
what he was
He
saying.
doesn't care. As long as he admits he doesn't give a fuck about the dead kids. That's okay.
You know
As long
what,
as he
Destiny?
doesn't
You
care.
don't give a
Admit it.
fuck about the
Admit
dead
it.
kids, do you?
Admit it. I do.
Because you thought it
I
was
fund
funny.
these things.
You thought it
Because
was
I'm not the one
funny.
voting to take money away
You
from these
thought it
things.
was
I
funny
think
to
it's
go
fun-
on X and talk about,
Piers,
I heard God
excuse
killed
me,
those kids
excuse me,
because
excuse
they
me,
weren't
Piers.
using a
Jokes on
NordVPN
Jokes
to
on
get
Twitter
around the
don't kill
Texas
people.
porn ban.
From the
That is
party of I
disgusting.
thought comedy was
You're the
legal
one
again.
using dead
Jokes
children
on
in a
Twitter don't
grotesque
kill
manner.
people.
So let me just lay
Jokes
that down
on
for the
Twitter,
record.
just to be clear, let me lay it down as well. How many people did my joke kill?
No,
Oh,
it's just
sick man.
disgustingly
Exactly.
tasteless.
You're a
Wait a minute.
sick man.
And then how many kids died because there's no siren system because people like this guy over here made up the lie that Biden was going to steal your homes if
I
you
never
accepted
made the lie
American
up,
Rescue
you
Plan.
asshole.
If you accept American Rescue Plan money. Exactly.
I never
That's
made
the
that
difference.
up.
The difference is
I
you're
never
would
said
like to
it.
hear.
I mean, Ben Ferguson did say that though. Like he is lying
But that's-
here.
that-
He
no,
actually
but
did say that.
that is a completely different subject.
I
That
know,
is a
but
completely different fucking subject. That's fucked up for you to say.
Ben, I would
the
like to
difference is
hear
that-
Ben
Yeah, that's
finish
it,
the
exactly.
story he was telling us when he was talking about the funerals of dead
I go-
children. So
I
let
go
him
back-
finish
we didn't
that,
have
please.
to. What do you mean? We didn't have the funerals. Wouldn't that
Can
be
we-
better?
can
if
we
the people
mute
who
him?
died
Rather
in the
than you
first place?
talking about
Can
why
we
you
just
were right
mute
to
him?
crack a sick joke. Ben.
Okay. I go back to the point here. This flood did not ask if you were liberal or conservative. rich or poor, black or white, or anything else in between. People lost their lives, and many people lost their lives trying to save kids in an unprecedented flood. If we could go back, I'm sure this community would have said, we'll figure out a way to have the money. You're dealing with an area that has a lot of volunteer first responders and firefighters. Can I finish, please? Like, maybe you'll learn something and not be such a tool.
You just lie.
You don't live there. You don't know. You've never been there. I've been there. I've talked to people. You don't know anybody that died in this flood. You're a POS. That's who you are. I would like to finish my point, Piers.
Finish it, Ben.
Thank you. There are people that died in this flood helping try to save the lives of others. There are elderly that died. I know people that lost children in this flood. They would love to go back and have a different warning system. By the way, we don't know if the warning system would have changed anything at all. The warnings came out early. Unfortunately, there's spotty cell phone there. Everyone's talked about this. I'm sure there's people in the community that wish they would have maybe done something different in the past. Hindsight's 20/20. But to say that the community is not insane theory you've come up with, which is not true or based in fact. It was based on a small rural community with not a lot of tax base and a very expensive price tag for something. And for you to sit here and to somehow decide that this is a place to say something so sick. I'm assuming you don't have kids. I have 6-year-old and 8-year-old kids. If you talk to parents that are planning their child's funerals are happening tomorrow and the next day here in Houston, I think you would have a little bit of a soul and a heart for them. But instead, you're out here putting this crap out there. And it's really sad. I hope you get help.
Let me bring in Brian. Brian, I want to talk just about a wider point connected to what Destiny posted.
All right,
which he shows no regret at all, which is entirely his choice.
Is that, yeah.
That's pretty much it. How you feel about that, Rowan?
I mean,
I've
never. Zach, why is there 3 of you? I've never been a fan of Destiny. I don't like him. As a matter of fact, I